This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some big breaking news for you. Finally, President Biden and the White House have released the framework for the Build Back Better plan, coming in at $1.75 trillion. I'll let you know what's in it, what's not. When it comes to progressives being on board, looks like not so much the case so far. They wanted the $3.5 trillion, and progressives have already tanked the infrastructure vote for a second time. Looks like things are going to get a little sticky over the next few days. I'm going to play a video clip from Pramila Jayapal, Progressive Caucus leader, of what her plan is and if and when she plans to vote for this package. I'll give you some other more important updates as well. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So Biden releases slimmed down $1.75 trillion spending framework, cutting social benefits plan by over half. So originally their plan was $3.5 trillion. Looks like Joe Biden released a $1.75 trillion spending framework for his Build Back Better agenda. It's far less than Democrats wanted to spend to provide new social benefits for Americans. And when it comes to the progressives, looks like there is some trouble. I'm going to play a video clip first of what's in it, what's not, and the things moving forward. Then I'll get to the progressives and where they stand on that. Take a look at this video clip right here.
Hey, Carl, after months of negotiations, the White House this morning is announcing a new revised framework for the president's social and climate priorities that it believes will be able to pass both chambers of Congress. Among the items included on the spending side, 6 years of funding for universal pre-K, a one-year expansion of both the child and earned income tax credits, new incentives for solar and clean energy projects, and extensions for Affordable Care Act credits. That is just a handful of things that are going to be included in this. Now, to pay for some of these things, the plan will now establish a 15% minimum tax for corporations here in the U.S. and overseas. It will introduce a 1% surcharge on tax buybacks, add a 5% tax on individuals making more than $10 million and another 3% over $25 million. And the IRS will also ramp up its tax enforcement. In all, the new framework is roughly $1.75 trillion in spending. That's half the size of the original proposal. And it excludes many items that the president campaigned on, like paid leave programs, free community college, and more. It also excludes a tax on billionaires and a plan to report bank account cash flow for many Americans. Now, the plan has not officially been scored by the Congressional Budget Office, but the White House believes it will raise $2 trillion, a figure officials say could lower the deficit over 10 years. To sell this new framework, President Biden is visiting a weekly meeting of House Democrats today. The White House will not say what assurances it has received, only that it believes all 50 Democratic senators will vote for the plan and that the House will have enough support to pass it, but not saying specifically which lawmakers have said that their vote is for certain a yes and what exactly that vote count would be. Guys?
So that was just a quick outline of what's going to happen. Now, as mentioned, it's a framework. Doesn't mean it's completely permanent. The language can still change. But regarding what's in it, what's not, things can still change at this moment. President Biden released this framework and left. There was a 20-minute speech that I'm not going to show in this video just because it was kind of long, kind of lengthy. But Biden heads to Europe with his economic agenda and his presidency in the balance back home. So he was supposed to, he actually left yesterday to go to Europe and talk about the G20 summit or talk about climate change and all that. So he really wanted to have all this done before getting away, and it looks like it may not even be done by the time he gets back. So Biden and Pelosi call progressives bluff. Basically, Biden and Pelosi said, all right, here is the $1.75 trillion package. Here you go, progressives. Now let's get on with the other votes. Progressives not too happy with that. So Bernie Sanders signals House should hold off on infrastructure votes. And it looks like progressives win again, no infrastructure vote tonight. So this is last night, and House Democratic leaders on Thursday abandoned a second attempt to clear the Senate-passed bipartisan infrastructure bill as progressives held firm to their refusal to back it without a concrete agreement on separate social spending package. So they wanted to have this infrastructure vote because President Biden and the White House said, all right, Here's your $1.75 trillion Build Back Better plan. Now let's have the infrastructure vote. And the progressives are like, hold on one moment. We already had our agreement. Here is Pramila Jayapal, Progressive Caucus leader, talking more about this.
Working through the weekend, perhaps, to make it more concrete. She joins me now. So, Congresswoman, I guess my first question is, what does in principle mean here? I guess when it's a framework, you can't back it every word because you don't know every word, right?
That's exactly right, Garrett. And, what I think we wanted to do was convey our tremendous appreciation for all of our Progressive Caucus members, for all of our allies that have fought so hard, and of course for the President of the United States, who has been negotiating this, to see the tremendous momentum that we have gained since a few weeks ago when the Progressive Caucus said these two bills needed to go together. There has been more negotiation that's happened in the last 3 weeks than has happened in the last many months from these two senators. And so that is what we were trying to convey. We really believe that there is so much good in this framework. Now, I will tell you that there are still senators who are continuing to work on things that could be additive to this framework around prescription drug pricing, other things. We, of course, welcome anything that's additive to the framework, but we are with the president in principle. And I think that's the most important thing, is that we understand that we have come a long way, that this bill has tremendous investments in it that will be transformational, and of course that the majority of the Progressive Caucus priorities are in there. So that's really very, very good, I think, and I think our caucus, we have the whip question out, but I can say that this was enthusiastically endorsed by everybody in the room.
I certainly don't speak for the White House, but when I have been reporting on their end of this story today, I think they would probably say, if you're with us, be with us on this vote today and trust the White House, trust the president that he can deliver the votes ultimately, and vote today for the infrastructure bill. Why would you still oppose the hard infrastructure vote tonight if you're ready to endorse, at least in principle, what exists for everything else here on the president's agenda?
Well, look, Garrett, this is the nature of compromise, right? There are many people who simply do not feel comfortable voting for the infrastructure bill without the full legislative text and a vote on the Build Back Better Act. And that is just where we've been for months. People feel very strongly about it. They have different reasons for it, much of which have to do with the number of changes that have continued to come from two senators. And, they've been working very hard, and we're very grateful to them for their work to get to at least this framework. But I will tell you that there are still a lot of people who just really believe that we cannot pass the BIF without the full agreement, legislative language, and a vote together. I'm not saying that, but I don't think our members care if one comes before the other on the same day, but the two bills being together. And so that is just where we are. And so what we were able to do is we were able to get what I believe will be near unanimous or unanimous support for the framework that the president laid out today, and also a commitment to, we're willing to stay here all through the weekend. If the speaker, the speaker has said that 90% of the bill is written, and I assume that to be true, then let's get the next 10% written, and then we'll vote both bills out at the same time.
Right. It seems to me if you started with $3.5 trillion and you've cut to 1.75, you are deleting, not writing, which should be a simpler process. Can you clarify for me, though, what the Progressive Caucus here wants to see? Because you said a couple things in there that I just want to make sure that these are and statements, not or statements. If you got complete text or a more complete statement from Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema saying they will support this framework, or ultimately a vote, it's kind of any of those things are what you would need to see to move forward? Or do you need to see all of those things before your caucus would move forward on the hard infrastructure bill?
Yeah, thanks for that, because I think it is confusing. We need to see both votes on the Build Back Better Act and the infrastructure bill moving forward together. We also want to see the commitment from the two senators and frankly all 50 senators that they are also supportive of this framework and that it will be passed with no undermining in the Senate. So I think that's where we are. I think that the regard for how far we've come is enormous, and I hope we can convey that with this what I think will be a unanimous or near unanimous resolution for the framework that has been presented to us today.
I had two other members on in this hour, one of whom said, even though it's not in here, they think that the SALT issue could still be dealt with in the final bill. I had another member on who said, even though it's not in here, they think that paid family leave could still be in the final version of this bill, even though it's not in the framework. So I'll ask you, how finished, how complete do you think this framework actually is? Or are there kind of ghost issues floating around out there that might still get added to it before it becomes legislation?
Well, you're asking exactly the question that all of our members are asking, and that's why we said we endorse the framework in principle, because we don't have legislative text. I don't know how anybody can, fully move forward without that legislative text. So let's spend the last couple of, days here finishing this negotiation. Let's get it into legislative text, and then we will vote both bills through. But I think the reality is that, that can be done very quickly. We are ready to endorse this framework in principle. We would love to see, and I know some of my progressive senators are working on additional things. It's great. If there's anything that's additive, the Progressive Caucus will be in full support of those additive measures, and we too will work to see what we can finalize in this text. But I think it's enormous progress that the president presented to us today. The investments that are in the bill, even as it is, even without the things that aren't there that we hope could be added. Garrett, this is really phenomenal. I mean, we are going to put over $500 billion into the care economy.
What are your thoughts on what Pramila Jayapal said? So looks like progressives still holding firm despite the framework being released, despite language and all that, still up in the balance. We don't know what's going to happen. The deadline is supposed to be the 31st. President Biden, not really sure when he's coming back, but if it were to pass now, he wouldn't be able to sign it into law until he gets back from Europe. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated on that. A lot of things are going to change probably in the next 24 to 48 hours, so stay tuned for that. When it comes to a fourth stimulus check, the $2,000 per month to every American, currently at 2,940,000 signatures so far, and there is no fourth stimulus check in that big package. They already took out so many other things, going from $3.5 trillion to $1.75 trillion. So no fourth stimulus check in there, but a lot of people are still signing the petition, and they're still fighting for a $1,400 stimulus check for seniors. So that is all the stimulus news I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I want to tell you something that you should really use. If you're like the pool or something and you get hurt or something, you should just try your best, because sometimes that happens to me too, and it's not really fun. But if you got hurt like that one time, I'm sure you could deal with it, and you can be strong and powerful like how you are. So bye. Hope you have a great day.
So I got Bella and the fam all waiting over there. So when I said Bella's tip of the day, Bella's like, I want to do a tip of the day. So she came in. So thank you for that, Bella. Anyways, if you want to check out any of my other videos, you could click up here or down here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Be safe. Thank you for watching. Here's the microphone. Bella says bye. Oh, yeah, Bella, you want to say bye? Pop your head through?
Bye. I hope you have an amazing day.
All right. Take care.